So tell me about, and again, as to the best of, what you know about this, the back room and the fight you guys had to go through, and specifically what it was that Greg and the other observers saw back there.
So again, this was 2 days later, and we got an injunction. We got a court order from a judge, and it said, we could go back there every 2 hours for 5 minutes, which was a joke. And they set up these little areas for us in the back room. And I got to sit in there at one point, but then there was a back room with a closet. And Greg was like, what is in that closet? Why do you keep going there? What is happening? So again, he had to fight to get into that room. So we had to fight to get into the back room that had no cameras in it at all, which should have had cameras because that's where they were canvassing and doing signature verifications, supposedly, and uploading to the Shore system. And then there was this closet area that's where he found and saw and observed the unopened mail-in ballots. And he was losing his mind. And there was another observer there. His name was Jonathan Briskin. What's interesting enough is Jonathan Briskin, a Democrat, a doctor, had this little lanyard that said voter protection. Voter protection was a Norm Eisen program that was all over the country. So we had Norm Eisen's voter protection program inside of Delaware County. But he too, and another, it was a blanket on the guy's name. He looked like Santa Claus, another Democrat who agreed with Greg. He said, yes, 100%. I agree that there are unopened mail-in ballots in that room. And so.
And I know Greg had said there was a little discrepancy about how many, but he says somewhere between 60 and 70,000.
Yes. Yeah, he was going by real quick because you only had a split, maybe 30 seconds to look, but he was, going by the size of the box because it was one of the United States Postal Service boxes, open at the top. It's plastic, long, but that's how they were stacking the mail-in ballots inside of those containers or whatever. So he was just trying to see real quick, make a quick estimate because he's the math guy, and that's kind of what he had estimated it to be.
And of course, that is going to be bringing back memories of Jesse Morgan's testimony.
Correct.
And, the U.S. Postal Service investigation that we got. And I don't know if you've read that, but.
We sure did. We sure did. Greg was with Jesse Morgan. That was the Thomas More Society. That was Phil Klein down in Arlington. Greg was there as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that postal inspector document was very heavily redacted. And
I'm shocked.
I know that was very interesting. I still highlight that. Can we get this declassified so that we can unredacted so that we can see what it was that they investigated and why they needed to redact entire pages of the Jesse Morgan report?
Well, because they wanted to cover up what really happened, of course. That poor guy got tormented, and he basically went into hiding and was like, I'm not going to have this happen. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. He came forward, didn't have to. And of course, obviously he's vindicated by just even with a redacted report, there were ballots. They were supposed to be taken to Chester County, Lancaster, and I'm blanking on the other county right now. But yeah, we knew that they were coming from somewhere. And we know that there's no way of knowing whether or not these people are actually qualified electors that are signing those envelopes. I mean, it really is a joke. It is a joke.
And it's a common theme. So you've got 50 to 70,000, 60 to 70,000 there. Michigan, we saw the Gateway Pundit video of them dropping off 64 boxes of ballots in the middle of the night and sticking them under the table until the next shift came. Fulton County ordered over 780,000 ballots from Runbeck for Fulton County 7 days before the election.
Yep. Same. The whistleblower reported that there were pallets of ballots. She said, she was like, it seriously could have been anywhere between, like she said, 700,000 to 1 million. Whatever. It was insane the amount of ballots that were sitting on pallets For what reason?
And the one place that you don't have the story like that is Maricopa County, because in Arizona, the mail-in ballots in Maricopa go back to Runbeck, so they don't need to move any large amounts of ballots around. That's what they send to the Met Tech Center when they ask for them. They don't.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting, Leah, how they do this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so obvious, but nobody gives a damn.
Open your eyes.